And every year, the graduating class selects someone to speak to them. It is our salutatorian. And this year's salutatorian is Miss Jaiden Reed.
Good evening, St. Mary's. Board of Trustees, Ms. Nunley, administration, faculty, parents, class of 1975 Golden Graduates, and the outstanding graduating class of 2025. My name is Jaiden Sky Reed, and I have been blessed with the opportunity to speak to you all as this year's salutatorian. I want to start off by saying we made it. As I stand here today into the class of 25, my class rocking their caps and gowns, I am unable to hide the smile on my face. These past 4 years have been a journey, and if you were to go down and ask any of my classmates, they would tell you it was anything but easy. Yet nevertheless, we did it, and are finally gathered here today to mourn the end of this journey and celebrate the start of a new one. As a kid, the majority of the shows and the movies I watched were set in high school. Because of this, when it was time to start at St. Mary's, I was ready to sing and dance on tables like in High School Musical and avoid the popular kids like in Mean Girls. One day, during the summer before high school, I sat with my older sister excitedly describing to her what I believed high school would be like. And to my 14-year-old self's surprise, she laughed in my face. When she was finally able to collect herself, she said to me, "Jaiden, high school is nothing like the movies." And that was something I never forgot. However, as I stand here before you today with the newfound wisdom that comes from being a senior, I can confidently say high school is like a movie. And I'm going to explain why through 3 acts. Our first act is all about the characters. We are unique individuals, the main characters in our own stories. Part of the reason Class of 25 is so special is because of how different each and every one of us is. As a class, we not only excel inside of school, but also in everything we do outside of school. Whether that be starting our own production companies, making music, starting clubs, receiving D1 offers for athletics, and so much more. Everything the Class of 25 does, we do with greatness. When we find things we are passionate about, we work hard and make sure to reach for the stars. Our class is driven and determined to leave our mark on the world. One of the main reasons we have this drive and feel comfortable thinking outside of the box is because of the quality education that can be found at St. Mary's. The amazing faculty and staff have dedicated their lives to making sure our founders' value of quality education is honored, and the fruits of that can be seen throughout my class's achievements. At the same time, like any interesting main character, we make sure to have fun. If we aren't busy striving for greatness, we are laughing, bonding, and forging memories with each other that will last a lifetime. Remember when we broke the rope during tug of war and Spirit Week, or in all of our classes when we had potlucks and parties to celebrate the end of the year? Or whether it's lunchtime karaoke, crowding the shade to avoid the rain, or dancing like no one's watching in the quad, we made St. Mary's our stage, and our stories unforgettable. Which leads me to my second point. What's a good movie without a climax? For all the good times we had, there were equally hard ones. Sometimes life gets tough. Friendships fall apart, homework piles up, responsibilities weigh us down, and each day feels like a struggle. Being a teenager is not all fun and games, and oftentimes we find ourselves drowning in stress. The Class of 25 is special because of what we have achieved, but the achievements are not what make us admirable. It's the circumstances we had to work through to achieve them. Sure, we are smart and talented, but what matters most is that we are resilient. High school is when we begin to navigate serious relationships, both romantically and platonically. Our movie is a coming-of-age story. We are figuring out who we are, who we want to become, and who we want standing beside us. Not every relationship is meant to last, and that's okay. These years are about learning what is important to us and who will be there when times get tough. Think back to those hallway check-ins when someone asked, "Are you okay?" and you know they meant it. Or when we stayed up texting each other through a tough night, not to finish homework, but just to be there for each other. Our class is not just a class. We are a family. Despite our differences, we've had each other's backs through thick and thin. We persevered because of the genuine community we built. We know how to collaborate, support one another, and uplift voices that need to be heard. No mountain has been too high for us to climb because of how we live out the salient core principles of inclusive community and respect for all persons. And through it all, the chaos, the stress, the heartbreak, we've had faith. Our class is made up of people with different religious and spiritual beliefs, but something almost all of us can agree on is our shared belief in something greater, a purpose, a path, or a God who walks beside us. This has carried us through the darkest parts of our plot and brought us to the resolution. My third and final act is the resolution. I believe high school is like a movie because of the ending. Third trimester of senior year was amazing. Next steps were decided, the weather was warmer, and we all made sure to make the most of our final weeks together. I won't say all our stress was gone because senioritis definitely kicked in, but most of the weight on our shoulders was lifted as we got closer to today. It's the part in the movie where everything is finally falling into place for the main character. Life is good. And though it's bittersweet, we are all eagerly waiting to take our first steps into adulthood. I specifically say eagerly because despite this being a sad moment, we are not scared. We are ready. St. Mary's didn't just prepare us academically. It prepared us emotionally, spiritually, and socially. We know how to lead, how to listen, how to build a community and chase justice. Outside of what we learned in class, we were taught 5 core principles that will guide us through whatever comes next. They're not just written on posters in the hallway, they've been tattooed on our hearts. These Lasallian values, respect for all persons, faith in the presence of God, quality education, an inclusive community, and concern for the poor and social justice are not just ideas. They're blueprints for a life of meaning. So yes, I believe high school is like a movie, but not because it's perfect or predictable. It's a movie because it's emotional, complicated, messy, and real. Because it's about people who grow, stumble, get back up, and keep moving forward, and that's us. As we graduate, the class of 25 is leaving behind a legacy of strength, tenacity, and courage. We know the future is uncertain, but we are certain we can handle whatever comes our way. I'd like to close by saying how extremely proud and grateful I am to be a part of the class this remarkable, and to acknowledge that none of this would have been possible without the endless support of our families, friends, and the St. Mary's faculty and staff. This chapter might be ending, but our story is far from over, so grab your popcorn, because I hope you're ready for the sequel. Thank you.